In a peaceful small town, there lived an extremely cute fat cat named Fadi. Fadi was so plump that its body looked like a big furry ball, and its four legs were almost invisible under its chubby body. Its little face was chubby and quite endearing, with big and bright eyes like two sparkling jewels, always looking curiously at the world around it. Fadi's favorite things in daily life were eating and sleeping. Its little nest was in an abandoned warehouse in the corner of the town. The warehouse was filled with all kinds of odds and ends. Fadi laid a soft old blanket in the corner, which became its most comfortable bed. Every morning, when the first ray of sunlight shone into the warehouse, Fadi would always stretch out a big yawn, a long yawn, and then slowly walk to the door of the warehouse, looking at the street outside. One day Fadi was staring blankly at the door as usual. Suddenly, it saw the neighbor's little dog Joadwell running merrily along the roadside. Joadwell had a vigorous body and light footsteps. Its ears fluttered in the wind when it ran. Looking extremely happy, Fadi couldn't help but be moved in its heart. He thought, Joadwell runs around like this every day. It seems so interesting. Shouldn't I also do some exercise? So Fadi decided to start its morning exercise plan. On the first morning, Fadi got up early. It would let out of the warehouse and came to the small square in the town. At the beginning, it just walked slowly. After only a few steps, it was already out of breath. Its chubby belly rose and fell with its breathing, just like a small tambourine. At this time, the little sparrows that got up early, too, looked for food, saw Fadi and flocked around. Chirping, a little sparrow landed on a branch beside it and said, "Oh Fadi, what are you doing? We haven't seen you come out this early before." Another little sparrow also cried, "Young, yes, look at how hard you are working. You, better go back to sleep." Fadi felt a bit embarrassed but still said firmly, "I'm doing morning exercise. You want to be as healthy as Joadwell." The little sparrows all laughed chirpily and circled above Fadi's head, seemingly waiting to see its joke. Fadi ignored the ridicule of the little sparrows and continued to move forward with difficulty. Soon, it encountered a small slope. For Fadi, who seldom exercised, this small slope was like a big mountain. It tried to walk up, but after a few steps, it almost rolled down because of its unsteady center of gravity. Fadi, once a bit scared in its heart, but when it thought of the way Joadwell ran, it summoned up courage again. It lowered its center of gravity and moved up slowly, step by step. Its four legs were trembling slightly. Finally, it successfully climbed up the small slope and let out a happy cry. As it walked, Fadi saw a short branch beside it. Fadi thought to itself, "I can try to jump over it." So it mustered up all its strength and jumped with force. However, its chubby body was really too heavy. It only jumped a little bit high and then plop fell to the ground. Fadi landed on its back, lying on the ground. looking at the sky helplessly, feeling a bit dejected in its heart. At this time, Duadwa ran over when it saw Fadi's appearance. It couldn't help but laugh and said, "Fadi, what are you doing?" Fadi said embarrassedly, "I'm doing morning exercise, but I am too fat and..." "Can't you do anything well?" Duadwa said with a smile. "It doesn't matter, Fadi, as long as you persevere. You see, I always fell down when I first started running, but I never gave up, and now I run really well." "Don't I?" Fadi nodded after hearing Duadwa's words. It stood up again and continued to work hard. In the following days, Fadi would come to the small square to do morning exercise every day, although it still often fell down and was always exhausted. It never thought of giving up. One day, when Fadi was doing morning exercise, it suddenly started to rain. Lightly, the rain wet its fur, making its body even heavier. Fadi began to hesitate whether to go back or not, but then it thought, "What's this little rain? I can't give up halfway," so it found a place to take shelter from the rain. After the rain got a bit lighter, it continued to exercise. Slowly, Fadi found that it could walk farther and jump a little higher. Its body also began to change a bit. It was no longer as easily tired as before. Once a pet fun sports meeting was held in the town. Fadi saw the promotional poster and felt itchy in its heart. It thought, "I also want to participate, but can he do it?" Just when it was hesitating, Duadwa ran over to encourage it. "Fadi, you have to believe in yourself. Everyone has seen your efforts during this period. You can definitely do it." Fadi summoned up courage after hearing Joy do it, the words, and signed up for the cat obstacle race in the sports meeting. On the day of the competition, the small square was surrounded by people. Fadi stood on the starting line, feeling both nervous and excited. When the whistle of the competition blew, Fadi rushed up like an arrow leaving the bar. It carefully crossed one small obstacle after another, although its speed was not very fast. It walked very steadily when jumping over the high jump platform. Fadi took a deep breath and jumped with force. Surprisingly, it successfully jumped over it. The spectators saw Fadi's performance and all clapped and cheered for it. The little sparrows also called out loudly from the tree beside it, "Fadi go, Fadi go." Fadi heard the applause and shouts of everyone and felt full of strength in its heart. It sped up and ran towards the end of the race. Finally, although Fadi didn't win the championship of the competition, it successfully completed the race. When it rushed across the finish line, Duadwo and other little friends all ran over to celebrate for it. The little sparrows flew down and landed beside Fadi, saying, "Fadi, you're great. We were sorry for laughing at you before." Fadi smiled happily. It knew that through its own efforts, it not only became healthier, but also harvested full friendship and happiness. From then on, Fadi would do morning exercise every day. It was no longer the fat cat that only knew eating and sleeping. It became an inspiring little star in the town. Its story also inspired other small animals making everyone understand that as long as one has a dream and tries hard to pursue it, it can definitely be achieved.